Hello, this is novaTopFlex. In this video, I will be discussing information specifically about the Debian GNU/Linux frequently asked questions as of 2021 for version 11.0. So first, definitions and overview about Debian. So the frequently asked questions is about the frequently asked questions with their answers about the Debian distribution and other related distros and about the project at large. If applicable, pointers to other documentation will be given, but large parts are not to be quoted in this document. Some answers will require some amount of knowledge of Unix-like operating systems. The goal is to try to assume as little prior knowledge as possible, and answers to general beginner questions will be kept simple. So first, Debian GNU/Linux is a particular distribution of. Debian says Linux is an operating system, Linux is a kernel, and GNU/Linux is the actual operating system. We have over 59,100 software packages as of 2021, perhaps more now in 2025. Users can, in fact, select which packages to install. Debian provides a tool for this specific purpose. One can find a list of descriptions of the packages currently available at Debian at any of the Mir sites. It is free to use and redistribute, with no consortium membership or payment required to participate in distribution and development. All packages formerly part of Debian are free to redistribute, usually under terms specified by the GPL. The archives also carry approximately 1,000 software packages in the non-free and contrib sections, which are distributable under specific terms included with each package. And then it is also dynamic. About 1,012 volunteers around then as of 2021, constantly contributing new and improved code. Debian is evolving rapidly. So the archives are actually updated twice daily. Most Linux users run a specific distribution of Linux like Debian. However, in principle, such users could obtain the Linux kernel via the internet or from elsewhere and compile it themselves. Then obtain source code for many applications in that same way, compile for programs, and then install on their systems. And the process can be not only time-consuming but error-prone for complicated programs. So users often choose to obtain the operating system and the application packages from one of the distributors. What distinguishes the distributors are the software, protocols, and practices they use for packaging, installing, and tracking application packages on user systems. Are you on Deb? Are you on RPM? Are you on Snap, Flatpak, AppImage, etc.? Installing and tracking applications packages, combined with installation and maintenance tools, documentation, and other services. These also vary by distro. Debian is the result of a volunteer effort to create a free, high-quality Unix-compatible operating system, complete with a suite of applications. The idea originates from the GNU project, and many of the applications that make Debian so useful were developed by the GNU project. For Debian, free has the GNU-style meaning. So see the Debian Free Software Guidelines. Free software refers to free as in freedom, not price, libre versus gratis. Free software means you have the freedom to distribute copies of free software, that you receive source code or can get it if you want it, that you can change the software or use pieces of it in new free programs, and that you know you can do these things. Created by Ian Murdoch in 1993, initially under the sponsorship of the Free Software Foundation's GNU project, Debian's developers now think of it as a direct descendant of the GNU project, even though we may have some non-free software required to use Debian. Although the project itself is free software, it is a base upon which value-added Linux distributions can be built. By providing a reliable, full-featured base system, Debian provides Linux users with increased compatibility and allows Linux distribution creators to eliminate duplication of effort and focus on the things that make their distribution special. So this is about a vertical market. So this would be in section 14.3. So, okay, now one would know what Debian is. So what is Linux? Linux is not actually an operating system, but a kernel originally designed for 386 and better PCs. Today, we also run on a dozen of other systems, including ARM, RISC-V, traditional, historical Alpha, and other architectures. I don't think M68K, but PowerPC would use Linux, perhaps. At least it would be compatible. Written by Linus Torvalds and many computer scientists around the world. Besides its kernel, we usually have a file system that follows a Linux file system hierarchy standard, a wide range of Unix utilities as well, many of which have been developed by the GNU project and the Free Software Foundation. The combination of the Linux file system, GNU, Free Software Foundation utilities, and other utilities are designed to achieve compliance with the POSIX IEEE 10031 standard. See Section 4.4. How source code compatible is Debian with other Unix systems? For more information about Linux, see What is Linux by Linux Online. Does Debian just do GNU/Linux? Currently only for Linux, but with Debian GNU/Herd and Debian on BSD kernels, the project has started to offer non-Linux-based OSs as a development, server, and desktop platform as well. However, and I don't know the status in 2025, I know that as of 2021, the non-Linux Debian ports were not officially released yet. The oldest porting effort was Debian GNU/Herd, a set of servers running on top of the GNU mock microkernel, building the base for the GNU operating system. So the GNU project has more information about the Herd in general, and the Herd port has more information about Debian GNU/Herd. A second effort is the port to a BSD kernel. People are working with FreeBSD as a kernel. See the non-Linux ports for more information about these non-Linux ports. What is the difference between Debian, GNU Linux, and other Linux distributions, and why should one choose Debian over some other distribution? As stated in the Debian social contract, Debian will remain 100% free. Debian is very strict about shipping truly free software. The guidelines used to determine if a work is free are provided in the Debian Free Software Guidelines, DFSG. The Debian Package Maintenance System. The entire system or any individual component of it can be upgraded in place without reformatting, without losing custom configuration files, and in most cases, without rebooting the system. Most Linux distributions available today have some kind of package maintenance system. The Debian system is unique and particularly robust. See Chapter 7, Basics of the Debian Package Management System. Open development. Whereas many other Linux distributions are developed by individual, small, closed groups, or commercial vendors, Debian is a major distribution that is being developed by an association of individuals who have made common cause to create a free operating system in the same spirit as Linux itself and other free software. So volunteers and package maintenance are all required to improve Debian. Developers contribute not by writing new applications, but by packaging existing software according to the standards of the project, by communicating bug reports to upstream developers, and by providing user support. See also additional information on how to become a contributor in Chapter 13, Contributing to the Debian Project. It is also the universal operating system. 9 architectures, if not, I think we're down to 8, but I'm not sure. Far more than is available for any other GNU/Linux distribution, for the most part anyway. See Section 5.1, what types of applications and development software are available, for an overview of the provided software, and 4.1, on what hardware architectures and systems does Debian run, for a system of the supported hardware platforms, or description rather. And then the geographical dispersion of the developers of Debian required sophisticated tools and quick communication of bugs and bug fixes to accelerate the development of the system. Users are encouraged to send bugs in a formal style, which are quickly accessible by www archives or via email. See additional information in this frequently asked questions on the management of the bug log in Section 12.4. Are there logs of known bugs? And then for the Debian policy, Debian has an extensive specification of standards of quality. The Debian policy is what it is called. This document defines the qualities and standards to which the project would hold packages. For additional information, please see the webpage about reasons to choose Debian. How does the project fit in or compare with the Free Software Foundation's GNU project? The Debian system builds on the ideals of free software first championed by the Free Software Foundation and in particular by Richard Stallman. Free Software Foundation's powerful system development tools, utilities, and applications are also a key part of the Debian system. The Debian project is a separate entity from the FSF. However, we communicate regularly and cooperate on various projects. The FSF explicitly requested to call the system Debian GNU/Linux, and the project is happy to comply with that request. The long-standing objective is to develop a new operating system called GNU that was the Free Software Foundation GNU/Unix, based on Herd. Debian is working on this system called Debian GNU/Herd. To pronounce it, it is Debian, with a short E in Deb, an emphasis on the first syllable. Deborah and Ian Murdoch. Ian prefers Ian, so it is Debian. Debian. Now to get and install Debian. So there are, I don't know if there are 3 versions, I think that's still the case. As of 2021, version 11. At the time of this recording, I've heard of Debian version 12 being available. So the latest version of Debian, it depends on when you are watching this. Are there package updates in stable? No new functionalities added to stable. Once the Debian version is released and tagged stable, it'll only get security updates. Only for which a security vulnerability has been found after the release will be upgraded. All security updates are served through security.debian.org. They're not a method for sneaking additional